anchors of Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton sued the city of Denton over Big Gay Swim Day, claiming changing room policies may violate state law. LGBTQ plus organizers called the lawsuit wasteful and vowed to celebrate Pride proudly.
A bigoted school board tries to stop a high school band from performing a song that merely thinks about trans people. But band boosters and a beer brewer team up to let the music play.
A new study says poverty, violence, trauma, and illness are interconnected crises disproportionately harming LGBTQ plus Black and Hispanic communities, urging healthcare systems to adopt trauma-informed, equity-focused care models.
Texas Tech faculty report growing fear and frustration over new curriculum restrictions on LGBTQ topics. While some instructors are altering coursework, others are considering leaving jobs and describing campus culture as toxic and anti-learning. 10
HIV/AIDS activists arrested for protesting Secretary of State Marco Rubio's proposed PEPFAR and global HIV funding cuts.
All this important LGBTQ plus news and a whole lot more this evening on Queer News Tonight. Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ daily news television show, broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels.
Analytics company vidIQ has certified Queer News Tonight's YouTube channel as the world's most popular LGBTQ plus streaming news show. Our queer stories have reached more than 12 million views. We are proud that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ plus brand in Florida.
We thank you for watching and supporting our voice and our rainbow family. There is no other news program in the LGBTQ world like Queer News Tonight.
That's right, Vaughn. It is Wednesday, June 3rd. Hey, happy Pride. I'm going to say it all month. Happy Pride. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we will tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ evening news show. Happening Out Television Network is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model as PBS and NPR, but created for the LGBTQ community. Our nonprofit mission is to support the 11 pillars of our community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our diverse community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ plus nonprofit media companies in America. Hotspots, Happening Out, South Florida. In 2026, our magazine celebrates 41 years of the LGBTQ plus experience, and Queer News Tonight has celebrated our 5th anniversary with more than 14,000 LGBTQ plus television stories told.
We present South Florida's major LGBTQ events, including Pride Fort Lauderdale, Stonewall Pride, and Pride Fete. Our magazine, events, television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ and broader community.
This year, more than 100 community leaders will sit at this very table and share their voices as our anchors. Together, we host a show to support the LGBTQ community. Let's meet this evening's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome back to the table my bestie, John Hayden. He's a journalist for 31 years. He now focuses on hyper-local reporting, covering LGBTQ plus issues, Wilton Manors, Lauderdale by the Sea, Fort Lauderdale, and Oakland Park. You can see all his reports at Greater Wilton Manors on YouTube and Facebook. So, John, we're both going to catch a wave next weekend, right?
Yes,
tell me what's happening out.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite Pride events, Floatarama. Hundreds are going to pack a yacht, sail the Intercoastal, and party at Bow Campers. I ran into co-founders Rodney McKenzie and Scott Schramm, and they told me all about it.
All right, guys, we are at the kickoff of Pride Month, and in just a couple weeks, we're going to be out on the sea. Well, the Intercoastal anyway.
On a yacht.
On a yacht. What can we expect for this year's Floatarama?
Well, you know, bigger than ever. Every year it gets bigger and bigger, and the love and the support from the community. We've got entertainment. We've got some special entertainment in the water. I'll give you a little hint. And some other exciting...
got some amazing DJs and wonderful people. Marisol Patton is, she's a Miami housewife. She is our Grand Marshal this year.
And how does it keep going? It seems like every year the community comes out, you don't benefit, the community benefits. Talk to me about the scholarship program.
You know, that has grown over time and become such an important part of our fundraising, and it just amazes us of the love for this community and how much they support us. You know, we've been able to support so many other local organizations. I believe, 14 other organizations last year.
We gave away $160,000 to local organizations supporting gay youth.
And we're up.
And we've really sort of come up with this mantra of have fun, do good.
Yeah.
Let's have fun while we're doing good for the community.
We're gonna have fun on the water.
We're over $400,000 so far in just a few short years, John. That's just amazing of kind of beautiful place we live in, and this is the place I want to be.
It is. Guys, I'll see you on deck in a couple weeks.
All right.
Awesome. Look forward to it.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
I do.
Bye.
Oh, that's awesome. You know, so much good, so much fun. I love Roderick and I love Scott. We set sail Saturday, June 13th at 10 a.m. from Bow Campers at Oakland Park Boulevard, and A1A tickets are still available. Go to floatarama.org. And, you know, let's just say I will Uber there because I'm going to need to Uber home.
I have two words for you. Open bar. All right.
Yeah.
You know, I'm actually looking forward to meeting Marisol Patton, who is from the Real Housewives of Miami. My wife is a huge fan. You know, and like Scott said, every year they make it bigger and bigger. You never know who the Grand Marshal is going to be. Alex Miranda, your old coworker, is also going to be there.
Love me some
I know you love some Alex. You know, every year this gets bigger and bigger. And what I love is that they take this money and then they help other organizations in need. That check presentation always gets me just like, it warms my heart, you know. And we talked about this, I think on Monday it was, you know, Scott Schramm, the founder and co-owner of Floatarama, was diagnosed with Guillain-Barré syndrome a few months ago. The man could not walk. He could not raise his arms. And now you will see him at this big Pride on the Water Floatarama. They're dancing and whooping it up with the rest of us. And that's a beautiful thing.
It is. It is. I saw them when we did that interview at the Hard Rock Drag Brunch this past Sunday. And, you know, I don't know a lot about Guillain-Barré syndrome, but I know it put him on his ass. Yeah. And this is they do a lot of big work, but it's a small organization. And when one of your leaders goes down like that, it's an existential threat. Yeah. And the fact that he fought back, not just for himself, but for the community, just warms my cold, dark little heart.
Your cold little dark heart. Okay. Get your tickets today. We're going to be on that boat. We're going to have a great time. All right. Floatarama.org, right?
.org.
That is the website. And Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at Floatarama, June 13th. Let's welcome anchor Vaughn Biggs. Vaughn is a force, baby, in LGBTQ plus and HIV justice, using his skills as a national speaker, writer, and passionate HIV empowerment advocate. He pushes back against stigma and complacency with unapologetic truth. Vaughn is the Community Engagement Coordinator for Holy Cross Health, Executive Committee member for the National HIV Aging Advocacy Network, and in his spare time, which is none, okay? Because he's also into the leather community. He's also part of Trans Ed. He's also, I can go on and on, all right? He's also a founding board member of the incredible organization that is Trans Ed, all right? Welcome back to the show, Vaughn.
Thank you. I've always loved being here with you.
Oh my goodness, Vaughn. So, I mean, how are things? How are you doing? Like, do you have any free time at all when you've got so much going on during Pride Month?
I do. You know, the sad part is, you know, I'm in school, and I decided to dual enroll this month. So 8 classes a semester on top of full-time, on top of volunteer.
So you don't sleep.
On top of Pride.
So you
Why
don't
not?
sleep. So like when do you have...
Oh, I will always...
You always find time for that.
I will always find time for that.
I figured as much. I figured as much. Well, Vaughn
I have my
Biggs.
people to call, my Rolodex.
Hey, you busy? Not anymore. Get over here. All right, all right. Vaughn Biggs, I'm so happy to have you back at the table at Queer News Tonight.
And of course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor, the very sparkly, the very beautiful, the very pro-pride FayWhat. She is a local legendary events host, television and radio personality, and host of Hotspots Happening Out's The FayWhat Show. Faye, CommuniTEA Dance returns to downtown Miami for Pride celebration on June 7th, and you're doing a little something with it, aren't you?
I am. Yes, it's my 3rd year hosting, and I couldn't be happier. Celebrate Pride Month at the Adrian Arch Center's 9th annual CommuniTEA Dance on June 7th at 4 p.m. at the Ziff Ballet Opera House stage in downtown Miami. This is a free of charge event. Free, gratis, $0.99, all right? That's going to welcome South Florida's queer community and allies for an afternoon of music, drag, dancing, vendors, and I mentioned music and dancing and community connection. This event features headliner Alyssa Edwards. I can't do it. I'm going to ask her to help me learn how to do that, all right? Performances by Lady Paraíso, Jalika Boom, who is incredible, Roxy Stones, who is incredible, L.A. the King, who brings it, Anthony Velasquez, who is an incredible dancer, and music by none other than DJ Zach Mantha. You can also enjoy happy hour bites and drinks. Admission is free, like I told you, but first access passes are required, so you got to RSVP because they've only got a certain amount of places for everybody, all right? More details at archcenter.org. And see you all on June 7th. I'm so excited about this, you know, and I love the Adrian Arch Center. I go there to see plays all the time, but this community is so special because the whole entire event takes place on the stage.
Right.
So you are dancing the afternoon away on the stage. You can look at the seats. It's kind of trippy, you know, but amazing. And every year the RSVPs sell out. So get your tickets early. You know, I'm all about drag. Drag is the foundation of our community. I can't imagine Pride without drag, and CommuniTEA knows this, so they bring us Alyssa Edwards and all these incredible top-notch drag performers locally to entertain us for the afternoon. So I, for one, am excited. I'm running back from one magical weekend. Running back.
Oh, wow. Oh, God, I didn't even, yeah.
Running back from one magical weekend. I gotta get there. I gotta get there. I'm leaving Saturday.
And you talk about me not having time.
Yeah,
well,
there's that.
Right, but you know,
I'm married. I can schedule my time for stuff.
Oh, okay. But I heard there's one thing to get on that stage.
What?
You have to tongue pop your tongue.
That's what I'm saying.
You can't do it, so you won't get on.
Well, I'm hosting, baby, so I'm getting on.
and one of the things I love about this, Miami Beach Pride, it was back in April.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes.
At a sensible temperature. But this is sort of a great way to sort of introduce Pride Month down in Miami-Dade because you know, like I said, we've already done the Pride formally. So this is just a great community event.
It really is. It really is. Today was the flag raising down in downtown at the Stephen P. Clark Center. And, you know, we just continue all month long. That's what it's all about. In Miami, in Fort Lauderdale, and everywhere in between. We're proud no matter what. You can't just, you know, dim our spotlight because we're shining way too bright this month.
We are shiny. I got nothing else. So Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at CommuniTEA Dance June 7th.
I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up politics. Texas AG sues Denton over big gay swim day pride event at public pool. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton has filed a lawsuit against the city of Denton over an upcoming Pride Month event called Big Gay Swim Day. He claims the gathering could violate Texas law regarding sex-segregated facilities. The lawsuit aims to stop the June 7th event, which is scheduled at a private rental at Denton Civic Center pool. According to Paxton's office, promotional materials for the event suggested the pool's gender-changing rooms would be modified during the gathering. The Attorney General argues that this could conflict with the Texas Women's Privacy Act, which requires access to certain public changing facilities to be based on sex assigned at birth. City officials say Denton does not sponsor the event and that organizers were informed ahead of time that they must follow state law. In a joint statement posted to Instagram, LGBTQ plus organizations Outreach Denton and Pride Denton described the lawsuit as a frivolous waste of public resources. The group said they were informed by the city on May 12th that they weren't allowed to have all gendered restrooms, and they had already updated event materials to match the requirement. The group added, quote, "We will not allow these attacks to spread fear, isolation, or shame. We look forward to celebrating and affirming Texans of all gender identities. Happy Pride," end quote. Imagine being Attorney General of Texas and your biggest emergency is gays near a pool noodle? Baby, chlorine is already fighting enough bacteria. Now it's got to battle fragile masculinity too. Let the people swim. Dios mío.
I'm sorry, but who's checking birth certificates at the restroom is all I want to know. Who's checking?
Well, pretty soon Texas is going to make you have to hire someone to
Check.
No freaking
Check.
Okay.
Yeah.
Drop your pants. Let's check.
Okay.
No, I mean, no, I'm saying that's what will happen.
No.
Yeah. It is the road we're on. But I mean, is this petty? Oh my God. Yes. Because he doesn't have literally anything else to do. He's running for Senate. He just beat an incumbent in the primary last week. So he's running for Senate. It's going to be a very tight race, just tight in general, not even, a moral victory for Democrats. They could win this because he is a criminal. He's been impeached by his own party. Yeah. And there's got to be a diminishing return on investments because at some point, even, the poor-ass rednecks in the middle of tumbleweed country in far west Texas are going to be like, we have real problems that need to be addressed. Will that happen this year? I mean, it's as good a year as any that it could possibly
Why
happen.
not now?
Yeah, and like the statement you read at the end says, this is a waste. Yeah. This is a waste. And at some point, Texans are going to be like, shut up, you ugly fuck.
There.
Hey everyone, I'm John Hayden. Let's queer up youth and student culture. This is a follow-up to a story we first brought you in May, when the high school band in deep red Watertown, Wisconsin, dared to perform a song merely inspired by a trans person. Their bigoted school board said, absolutely not. The selection, titled A Mother of a Revolution, was inspired by fierce Stonewall riot instigator Marsha P. Johnson. It's an instrumental. No words. And it was still banned. A few supported a concert at a church, and the show went on. But that is not the end of the story. This is a video from a second show organized by band boosters and Kirk Bangstad, owner of Minocqua Brewing Company and proud rabble-rouser. He first offered to host the show in his beer garden. It sold out. So then he moved it to the parking lot, which led to fear-mongering safety concerns. So they moved the show to a proper theater, the Barrymore Theater in Madison, Wisconsin. The message was simple. All are welcome.
Others expressed the disbelief that somehow instrumental music without words, could still be banned out of fear in modern America. But perhaps the most important message came not from those writing to the students, but from the students themselves. Again and again, they made one thing unmistakably clear. Everyone is welcome in the band. LGBTQ plus students. Welcome.
Okay, this is love. This is allyship. Spoiler alert, this show sold out as well. Not only that, donations from across the country totaled $82,000, which is good because the school board fascists wouldn't even let the kids use school-owned instruments for the show. So this money will go to buy band instruments out of reach of the board. A special 501c3 was set up so the school cannot touch the money. Maybe their next song will be Hammers, You Can't Touch This. This story made me so happy. This has been developing for over a month. I've been following it so closely. Kirk, I love you. I wish I could, I rarely wish I could go to rural anywhere, but I wish I could get to rural Wisconsin so that I could come and have a pint at your place. Thank you for everything you've done, not just for the LGBTQ plus community, but for everybody who's out there who feels silenced, You are giving them a voice. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Screw that school board, all right? Just screw them, honestly. I mean, come on, an instrumental song, no words, inspired by someone that truly began the whole revolution for LGBTQ plus folks, Marsha P, Sylvia Rivero, all the folks at Stonewall. I'm blown away by this, but I'm also like, what a beautiful educational tool for the kids in this band, right? You know what I mean? You can stand up. Your voice is important. Authenticity, you've got it. Be who you are, no matter what. If they tell you no, there's other ways that we can still make this happen. For them to still put this show on without even their instruments is a testament to just... These kids are incredible. These kids are going to, turn around and run this world for us, I hope. I mean, this story gave us hope, gave me some kind of hope, John.
Yeah.
We always do these stories that are kind of like Debbie Downers, like all the way around. It's our job to give those stories. We're very aware of that. But every once in a while, there's a fight that we win, these little victories. And they did that in Wisconsin. All right? You guys do more than cheese.
You think you have to celebrate the educators that stand up and step up and speak up, because so many of our schools are being silenced. The educators are just there to do their curriculum and they can't do anything. But to see somebody actually step up and say, we'll get a solution.
We'll get it. And well, I mean, educators are afraid because some people don't want to lose their jobs. And I get it. I mean, unless teachers are making more money, I don't think they are. I'm surprised. But there are still folks like that will stand up for their students and say, this is not right. We're going to do what's right. Thank you very much, John. Great reporting.
Thank you.
I'm Vaughn Biggs, and let's queer up health. New study says U.S. healthcare must address poverty, violence, and health together. A new study published on U.S. healthcare disparities argues that poverty, violence, and poor physical and mental health should be treated as interconnected public health crises rather than separate conditions. Researchers say traditional healthcare systems are often organized around isolated diseases and are not equipped to address what experts call syndemic overlapping health conditions intensified by social inequality and structural disadvantage. The report highlights how housing instability, food insecurity, limited healthcare access, and exposure to violence can increase risks for depression, PTSD, chronic illness, and early death. Marginalized communities, including LGBTQ+ community and Black and Hispanic populations, are disproportionately affected. According to the paper, more than 37 million Americans live below the federal poverty line, while firearm violence remains a leading cause of death among young people, especially in urban communities. The author argues that many healthcare systems now screen patients for social needs or trauma exposure, but often lack the infrastructure, funding, or partnerships needed to respond effectively. The study also points to long-standing mistrust of healthcare systems among marginalized groups, including queer community. This mistrust is rooted in historical abuses. Researchers are calling for, quote, a syndemic-informed, end quote, healthcare approach that integrates behavioral health, trauma-informed care, and social services. Recommendations include expanding community partnerships, embedding care navigators in healthcare teams, improving preventive care access, and training providers in structural and cultural competency. The authors conclude that achieving health equity will require healthcare systems to move beyond treating individual illnesses and instead address the social conditions driving disease and inequality. So this is a lot. There's a lot in this study, but I actually did a talk not too long ago at FAU where we were talking about social determinants of health, which, a lot of hospital systems, we screen for that. We screen for poverty. We screen for people needing food access, for health and things like that. But what this is really addressing is a syndemic approach, which we're now seeing that word used a lot. We just recently went to Chicago to for the conference that Francesca and I had went to, and it was about syndemic approaches where you're looking at multiple issues that are causing. And if you start overlapping those social determinants of health with healthcare, the problem is our systems aren't designed to handle that. They're designed to come in, oh, you have a problem, here's your problem, we'll treat this with your pills, but they're not addressing everything else that could be causing that. And there's a lot in this, because there is, but that's the overall arching theme of it, is our healthcare systems need to do better. We need to be looking at how to take care of the whole person, not half of the person. Because if you're only looking at one part, you're not seeing the whole person.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great point. Well, this study is groundbreaking.
Yeah.
It's a groundbreaking discovery. People can't heal properly when they're broke, traumatized, hungry, and scared. Wow. Next, scientists will announce that water's wet. But seriously, healthcare without humanity is just paperwork with fluorescent lighting. That's it. I mean, you've got to treat the whole person, like you said. And most places are just not structured or even want to help the whole person.
Right.
Well, I want to just start at a base number that you said 37 million people are in poverty. Okay, that's like 1 in 10 people.
Right.
That means statistically, someone in this building right now lives below the poverty level. And I don't have a number in front of me, but it wouldn't take a lot of work to find that that's a low number. And that people with mental health issues, that number is going to be even higher.
Right.
Because mental health, while poverty can be a cause of it, but mental health doesn't know your socioeconomic background.
At all. There are people from well-to-do families out there on the streets and are homeless in Miami. Go to the Skid Row, you'll see it.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
So, but I mean, remember, we've got a majority in our government still that doesn't want to even acknowledge that there's a healthcare issue. And if they can just treat the one and get you out the door, then they're fine with that.
Right.
So yeah, it's wanton neglect.
Yeah. We just have to keep asking for more. As consumers, as people in healthcare systems, we need to demand more. That's the call to action there. It's for us to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And we are demanding, so we can do that for sure. I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up the USA view. Texas Tech faculty say anti-LGBTQ curriculum rules are pushing professors to leave. New survey results from Texas Tech University show growing concern among faculty over new Republican-backed curriculum restrictions targeting discussions of sexual orientation and gender identity. The rules, outlined by university chancellors, eliminate references to sexual orientation and gender identity from coursework and require alternate materials in undergraduate classes. The phase-out of related academic programs is expected to be complete by June 15th. Survey results released by the school's faculty senate showed that about 50% of faculty altered coursework because of the policy, while 25% said administrators directly instructed them to make changes. The faculty senate also warned about faculty retention issues, stating, quote, the chancellor's memos had a negative impact on faculty retention, with 46% concerned about their tenure and or promotion and 52% considering jobs at other universities, end quote. One faculty member wrote, quote, I will be leaving my job in the coming months because of this. I cannot and will not work at a place like this, and I will tell my network to not come here, end quote. Many instructors believe the changes have created a toxic and anti-learning atmosphere on campus. One instructor also pointed out the credibility of the guidance, saying that the guidance they received, quote, was composed by AI and filled with inaccuracies. Well, when professors are fleeing and the curriculum is allegedly written by AI, congratulations, Texas. Your education system is now being supervised by ChatGPT's homophobic cousin. Nothing says higher learning like government-approved ignorance.
Oh, well, I know I want to get done with this show tonight so I can do some higher learning. No, incompetence is the point. That's the point of the Trump administration having a WWE pro wrestling person in charge of the
and reality stars doing Yeah,
so incompetence is the point.
Yeah.
And I can't make the judgment call. Everybody who works at Texas Tech has to make this decision for themselves. But it boils down to professional integrity, which means you don't put up with these policies, versus staying and working in the system for the students who will still come there and be there, and doing what you can. It's a balancing act, and not nearly as on the scale, but like when people a couple years ago were like, we're going to leave Florida because it's so terrible. And I'm like, do what you have to do. But, some of us, everybody at this table, everybody at Happening Out South Florida, Hotspots Magazine, and many more, we have to stay and do the fight and work within what we still have and push back on the borders. It's a terrible thing. God, Texas just sucks.
It makes me wonder, though, are they losing the students? Or are they increased? Have their enrollment increased or decreased? I wonder.
I think it's going to be one of those things where we're going to have to wait a couple of years to see how it, to get some data on it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Hey, everyone, I'm John Hayden, and let's queer up politics. 10 HIV/AIDS activists arrested after protesting Marco Rubio's PEPFAR cuts at a Senate hearing. It all went down yesterday on Capitol Hill after interrupting a Senate Foreign Relations Committee hearing involving Secretary of State Marco Rubio. The demonstrators, representing Housing Works, Health Gap, and Treatment Action Group and ACT UP, protested what they described as efforts to weaken PEPFAR, which stands for the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief. Protesters held signs and chanted, "Rubio's cuts kill people with AIDS. PEPFAR saves lives." And here you can see a picture of some of them in the hallway locking arms. Capitol Police eventually removed them from the room and the hallway. There's some more of them holding their signs. According to organizers, the protest focused on concerns over proposed cuts to global HIV and public health programs. These activists accuse Rubio of attempting to dismantle the Center for Disease Control and Prevention and its role in PEPFAR, which supports about 12 million people receiving HIV treatment across 51 countries. The groups also criticized the withholding of billions of dollars in congressionally approved global health funding and say the administration is negotiating access to African mineral resources in exchange for HIV prevention and treatment assistance. Did you hear that? That's the corruption. Negotiating access for minerals for us so that you can get life-saving assistance. The protest comes amid ongoing backlash over the Trump-Vance administration's HIV/AIDS policy. Now, Rubio did issue a waiver in January of 2025, allowing PEPFAR and other life-saving humanitarian programs to continue operating during a broader freeze on foreign aid spending. HIV services providers say funding losses tied to the closure of USAID, or U.S. Agency for International Development, have severely disrupted care worldwide. Good for these people. I don't think, were they arrested and charged, or were they just?
They were let go. I mean,
okay,
yeah.
But either way, and they knew this would be the result.
Mm-hmm.
They knew that they would be pulled out. But to a certain extent, that's what they want. Because now we're talking about it. Now we're showing this video.
Right.
And why were they protesting? Now we get to tell the story of why they were protesting. So thank you, protesters, for going to this hearing. Thank you for shouting and holding your signs and saying, you are killing people. This, the true death toll, the true murder rate of this administration will never be able to be fully known or quantified, but it exists. So thank you guys for doing that.
And with what face that Marco Rubio has the audacity to say no one's been affected, no one has died over this. Like, you nasty, clammy hand-having gay man. Like, come on. Like, listen, ACT UP taught us silence equals death. Mm-hmm. And apparently some folks in Washington still need the reminder. HIV care is not a bargaining chip. It's not a culture war, and definitely not something you cut while smiling for cameras like these folks did.
You know, I know when I was there earlier this year for AIDS Watch and walking those halls and meeting with everybody there, it was like, we carried those same signs. Did they arrest us for anything? No. But it's like, okay, so what's the difference? What really got the attention that they had to get them out of there? Because there were lots of people in the hallways. I mean, they meet people in the hallways there.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, to them, that's another office space. Yeah. So what was the issue? That's what I don't really know. It's like, were they really causing disruption?
Hopefully they were.
Well, I hope so, yes. But at the same time, it's just like, wow, just seeing that hallway and seeing those people, I was like, I was down by that door. I know that area.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Hotspots happening out South Florida. Pride Guide celebrates icons, Pride Month, and community power. Our Hotspots happening out South Florida special Pride Guide is back this year with features on South Florida's biggest LGBTQ celebrations, community leaders, entertainment, travel, and advocacy. This year's guide spotlights Stonewall Pride Grand Marshal Dan Bassett, Broadway in Fort Lauderdale's blockbuster new season, and the AIDS Healthcare Foundation's ongoing fight against HIV. Readers will also find inspiring interviews with reigning Stonewall title holders Eric Ivy Lords and Madison Mansfield Ross, plus exciting LGBTQ travel adventures from Happening Out Travel. From drag and music to activism and culture, the guide captures the vibrant heartbeat of South Florida Pride season. These feature stories and many more are included in this special issue. Don't forget to grab the free copy of the Pride Guide, which is already on stands near you. And I love this. Every year you can go in there. I'm in there because I will be announcing the Stonewall Pride Parade. So I'm excited about that. And, it's one-stop shopping. You need to know what's going on for Pride season. Go to the Hotspots, issue this week. It'll tell you everything that you need to know to plan out, because there's so many events and you don't want to miss out on one.
Right. Oh, it's everything all right there. And how much you say it was? $9.99?
Zero. Gratis.
Free? No way. All that information in one easy to find packet for free.
One easy to find packet.
Wow. I'd easily pay $49.99 for that.
Really? But guess what?
How?
Today and only today, you will get it for $0.99, John. $0.99. But you have to act fast because there's only limited copies near you. Don't mind us.
LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up drag culture. Patagonia rejects Patagonia's demand to stop using name in ongoing trademark dispute. The drag performer and climate activist rejected the retailer's settlement terms in an ongoing trademark dispute with the outdoor clothing company. Patagonia, the drag queen, said Patagonia, the retailer, said the dispute could be resolved if Patagonia withdrew trademark applications, stopped using Patagonia logos, and stopped selling or promoting products under the Patagonia name. The drag queen responded on social media saying she agrees to the first two demands, but rejects the third, writing, Patagonia is not just talking about my upcycled t-shirt merch in that bullet point. If I can't do partnerships as Patagonia, it breaks the whole ecosystem of advocacy and community engagement. This has been going on for a while. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I support both. And Patagonia, the retailer, issued a statement saying that they are very pro-LGBTQ.
Yes. Very
pro-drag entertainment and drag culture. And that if they worked together, they could if they could come to an agreement, they could easily work together.
Yeah.
Trademark is very, very intricate and dense law, and I'm not even going to pretend to get into it here, but I hope they can both come together and work this out, because I kind of love both of them.
Well, and I love Pattie. Like, Patagonia was amazing. During COVID, she had these incredible videos that we were all watching. She was keeping our spirits up during that time. She's an incredible activist. She climbed some crazy mountain that I will never attempt to, and raised money for our community. She's raised money for kids, all kinds of different organizations, And then now we have Patagonia, that is the retail merch. And, they're seeking damages of $1. Okay, I mean, they're not trying to go and have her not work again or anything like that. So I hope that for that reason, like John said, they could come to some kind of agreement. Maybe there'll be Patagonia on Patagonia's new merch. Who knows? You know what I mean? But I hope, this, like you said, it's been going on for a bit now. I hope that they can resolve it in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
LGBTQ 1 minute news. Let's queer up lesbian and queer women. Cara Delevingne says she's a very proud lesbian after years of avoiding labels. Actor and model Carrie Delevingne says she is now very happy to identify as a lesbian after years of discomfort with labels. In a recent interview with Variety, Delevingne addressed online reactions following a recent concert appearance where she told fans, "If you didn't know already, I am a lesbian," she said. Quote, "People love to comment on stuff like that, like, she's not gay, she's pan, or she's had boyfriends. And like, yes, I have. But at this point in my life, I'm very happy to say I'm a lesbian," end quote. Delevingne also spoke about overcoming internalized homophobia and credited her relationship with singer-songwriter Minky for helping her embrace her identity. The couple first met as teenagers in boarding school in England and then reconnected in 2022. You know, when you talk about labels, I'm just going to say I can relate to her story because I remember I was one of those that says labels don't define me. And I still believe that in some way today. We've created our labels. I'm okay with them today, but it's just like, again, I look at, they don't define who I am as an individual. So when people try to force that on you, it's kind of like,
Well, and I mean, and you should be allowed to say whatever the hell you want. You know what I mean? You're speaking of yourself, right? I mean, she was pan, she's lesbian, she's, whatever she authentically feels she is.
Right.
Present it and you go with it. It's like pronouns, okay? That is your pronoun, I go with it. That's it. I don't have to question it anymore, But we want to put everybody in a box. We like to have everybody nice and organized, you know what I mean? But I love this story. I love that she came out more, we enjoy having pretty people come to our side. That's why we don't allow most of those Republicans on our side, right? But a fun fact about Cara, she's got a tattoo of bacon on her foot. Yeah, and I love me some bacon, so maybe I'd suck that toe, right? And she voices Grand Theft Auto.
Oh.
Who knew, right?
Well, all right. And I'm just going to say, to sort of re-emphasize what you said, Kara, it's your journey. Anybody watching this, it's your journey. When we as a community, I hate when we as a community try to like, oh, she's gay, right? I mean, it's fun, but it's no better than when, the Republican fascists go, trans and, you must identify yourself as one or the other. Let's not be that.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's let everybody travel their own journey.
I agree.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News, let's queer up politics. White House Correspondents' Dinner rescheduled after shooting at Washington Hilton. The White House Correspondents Association has rescheduled its annual dinner for July 24th after the April event was interrupted by gunfire at the Washington Hilton. Authorities say 31-year-old Cole Allen is charged with the attempted assassination of President Donald Trump, who was inside the ballroom during the incident. One Secret Service officer was wounded. Police officers stopped Allen before he could enter the ballroom, where nearly 2,500 journalists, politicians, and guests were gathered awaiting Trump's speech. No additional details about the venue or ticketing have been announced. I'm really good friends with a great journalist, John Hayden. And I remember when this dinner happened and, you hearing about the possible assassination of Donald J. Trump, and that was not what I was fixated on. I was more fixated on the journalists that went there to enjoy this dinner like they had year after year after year, and, was I like, at the edge of my seat, not eating, waiting for them to reschedule it? Not really, you know what I mean? But here it is. You've got a new date,
I have many friends who have attended this dinner in better administrations, Republican and Democrat. Given what happened already, given the fact that Trump really doesn't want to do it, or if he's doing it, he wants to be able to make some kind of bullshit statement or whatever. I mean, at a minimum, let's just wait till next April. Let's just do it in 2027, right? Probably push it off till 2029. But, given what happened, let's not go back to the scene of the crime.
Yeah.
LGBTQ plus 1 Minute News, let's queer up trans rights. Federal Appeals Court protects trans service members from military ban. The court ruled trans service members can remain in the military, though the military may still block new enlistments by trans people. The ruling rejects Trump's January 2025 order requiring trans troops to be removed from service. Circuit Judge Robert Wilkins said the ban was illegal, arbitrary, and based on animus. This decision protects about 1,000 trans troops currently serving, but does not apply to new recruits. The split decision is expected to be challenged by Donald Trump's administration and could reach the Supreme Court. And just as we were getting ready to go on the air, our director Steve told us that Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth went and said, "See you at SCOTUS." So, I mean, that's probably one of the most accurate things he's ever said.
Ever.
Like
since he was born.
Yeah.
You know, it's something about military folks. You know, we're blessed that we have a few on our Happening Out South Florida crew here. And whenever Jason Nunez is the first one I'm thinking about, right? He served our country for over 20 years. He served under Don't Ask, Don't Tell. You know, and there's just something about military folk. You know, I don't want to say that they're brainwashed, but they will fight for our country no matter what. And that's transgender folks also.
Yep. Right.
You know, you want to literally limit what they do, change them, take away their accolades. You know, there are transgender folks that are 4-star generals, you know, that they were threatening of taking away all their stars, etc. You know, we must do more. They should do more. And yet trans people still want to serve in our military.
Right.
Like, I'm just, you know, God bless them. And I'm blown away by just that dedication, that love for country, because I don't think I'd have it.
Right. I have several friends that are currently serving. And it's interesting because, you know, as we've learned this, when this all happened originally, what did they say? They didn't track it. So they don't even know who's trans.
Yeah.
And in the military.
They had no idea.
No idea.
They had no idea the accurate amount of folks that were currently serving as, and were trans.
Right. So I think that it's a hard thing. Maybe that's why that's not happening. Yeah.
Fascists.
As a nonprofit LGBTQ media organization, we would like to thank our viewers for supporting our mission to tell the stories of the queer community. We'd also like to thank the generous support of Jets Pizza. Jets is the LGBTQ community's most popular pizza in South Florida. John, get your nose out of my pizza!
Take a look around these streets. Do you really think we woke up one day and said, yeah, the world needs more pizza? Nah, just a better one. Better, like the world's best pizza. Jet's Detroit-style pizza. Hand-pressed and baked to the thickest, crispiest crunch. You're welcome. Now visit jetspizza.com and save. Click on hot deals for special offers in your area. Jets, better because it has to be.
These are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight, and our anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ family.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Don't forget to join the conversation on your favorite streaming platforms. Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ digital television show in the world that's out of the closet and into the headlines.
We need your support. If our community is to grow and then thrive, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world. This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your lead anchor, FayWhat, and I thank you for joining us on behalf of my fellow LGBTQ anchors here at Queer News Tonight, including John Hayden and Von Biggs. We will see you daily at 8 p.m. To our LGBTQ plus world, we wish you a good night.